time is oddly creepy.
I like it. What?
Hey, if you live in one of these cities right here, why don't you own an apartment building?
Why don't you have hair, buddy? How about that? Want to come on my shit? Why don't you have hair? The hidden lore of The Incredibles, the NSA tapes. Fellas, I'm excited. I ain't gonna lie. Like, my whole TikTok For You page, it's just me, but my whole TikTok For You page has been nothing but Incredibles lore videos. And I love it. I don't know why. Obviously, I love The Incredibles. All right, both the first and the second one, okay? I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. But, bro, I didn't know where the sudden surge come from. Because I've seen some of the TikToks. All I know about is, like, 2 characters that are crazy as fuck. Gamma Jack, apparently the reincarnation of Sukuna, and a mind reader or mind, like, alternator, a person that control minds named Phalange, who would control, like, girls as boyfriends to make them, like, be with her. Essentially statutory rape. Villains, gang! Like, these are some motherfuckers you would expect Dr. Gero to make, or like some Avengers level demonic threats. That's all I know. But fellas, I'm excited. Lock the fucking Manscaped ad, Cuddy. Y'all don't need that shit. Actually, no, maybe y'all do, Cuddy. Y'all hairy asses. Y'all look like a damn grizzly. This is done by Cartoonish or Cartoonshi. Lock in, fellas.
This video is sponsored by Manscaped. Stay tuned for more info.
You know, if you've got Tubby Joe Schmo over there with a laser pointed at his head, and he might have to wait in line a little while.
Why?
Golly, could he might to put this motherfucker down ASAP. I ain't gonna lie, Syndrome might be right.
Is this guy literally Homelander? A lot of
Whoa! Not too much on the goat.
People tend to call The Incredibles one of the darkest animated movies of all time. You guys are probably aware of all the video essays on YouTube about The Incredibles, right? The ones delving deep into why it's a subversive masterpiece and secretly one of the darkest animated movies ever made. Now,
I don't even think it was secretly dark, dude. They literally just say it and show it to your face. It's dark in general. I never got the whole secretly dark type of angle, because again, it's right in your face. The whole Terminator screen, like, you get it. Syndrome made drones to kill heroes, yes. Or the whole, like, the guy who tried to kill himself and Mr. Incredible stopped him and he got sued because of it. Yeah, they outwardly say it, dog. It's a secret! No, gang, I think... Like, I get it. You're trying to fish for some content. What the fuck do I see across the road right now? Because I'm recording in my car right now. I just saw a motherfucker pulled up in a Mario Kart bit. Whatever. North Carolina's crazy, gang. But you know what I mean?
These are all perfectly fine, well-constructed videos. I got no quarrel with them. But something that always confused me is how so many people these days treat The Incredibles being a way darker movie than they remembered as some sort of massive, groundbreaking secret when it's like... No.
It's right in your face.
Like... Dude, a guy throws himself off a building at the start of this movie.
Yeah.
There's absolutely a
No, cartoony. It's a secretly dark one. He were on secretly.
Of darker subtext and lore you can get from the movie, thanks to its frankly incredible world building. But I think a lot of people tend to focus on all the stuff you can get on the surface level because they're now adults and can actually comprehend the dialogue and mature themes the film has always had, which is completely understandable. A lot of people still expect animated movies to be primarily focused on entertaining kids, and The Incredibles is one of the few animated movies they've watched that feels like it was also written with adults in mind. But yeah, The Incredibles has some dark stuff going on.
Rest in peace, my dog. Gazer being, gang. Rest in peace, my dog.
And the scene that's always stuck with me since I was a kid is the scene where Mr. Incredible finds out about Operation Kronos, and we get a look at all of the superheroes that Syndrome had killed in order to train the Omnidroid. Not just because it's a fantastic scene in its own right, but also because we never actually see many of the other supers outside of The Incredibles and Frozone. In fact, it's only in the sequel that we finally get to see some other supers actually using their powers. We also never see much of what life was like in the superhero glory days before they were banned. Now, the obvious reason for all—
I ain't gonna lie though, like, this is completely out of left field, but motherfucker, if I'm the robber and I see 2 superheroes flirting, like, essentially ear fucking each other, right, talking dirty, I ain't gonna lie, I would feel some type of way. Put me in jail, gang. Leave me the fuck alone.
The reason for all of this is that we don't necessarily need to see this stuff. The Incredibles has a very tight script, and that's one of its greatest strengths. But the lore-obsessed freak within me has always been interested in getting a glimpse of what everything was like in those days, and more importantly, actually knowing who these heroes were and what they were like. Little did I know that for the past 20 years, I could have gotten to—
I ain't gonna lie, this costume looks like complete shit, gang. This is ass. Okay, now, Gazer Beam's costume, classic. This one, kind of dorky. This one looks kind of cool. Hers is, I never been a fan of these type of masks. I don't know why. These masks always piss me off, gang. Like, why? They're barely hiding anything.
This glimpse at any time I wanted. Recently, I've been seeing discussions about and clips floating around from an incredibly important piece of the Incredibles lore that I genuinely had no idea about, and not many people seem to know much about it either.
Cuddy, why was Mr. Incredible sad? Gamma Jack died. Cuddy, he needed to go.
Of course, talking about the National Supers Agency tapes that can be found in the extras menu for the Incredibles on DVD. A classified compilation of taped interviews with many of the superheroes in the Incredibles universe, the majority of which were later killed by Syndrome or were already dead, giving us a glimpse into what these people were like, their powers, their personalities, relationships, and their weaknesses. And how this—
Imagine there was one that was like a massive gooner.
Roughly half an hour's worth of optional extra content included on DVD adds so much to the existing Incredibles lore and provides some genuinely interesting and sometimes disturbing insights into what kind of people are behind the masks. I've had this in my possession for about as long as I have been alive, and not once did I ever think to check these out because I've never really been interested in the extras included with DVDs, which I know may sound heretical given just how much cool stuff used to be crammed into these extras menus, but that's just the kind of kid I was. Nowadays,
no, that's valid.
Given the frankly depressing state of DVDs and how there's just very little heart or soul put into their presentation or extra content, I would kill to have stuff like this back. It's so cool, especially when you start listening to these tapes and realize they had to get a ton of voice actors to read like 1 to 2 minutes worth of dialogue each for characters that are canonically dead. This was made purely out of love and to add some additional context to an already rock-solid film. Pixar used to be one of the best when it came to extra content included on DVD, and honestly, nowadays, even if they just put these kind of things on Disney Plus, I'd still be happy to get them. But anyway, I wanted to do a proper deep dive into these tapes and discuss all the little details I could get. There is technically a video about these tapes from Thai Records lol, but, and I mean no offense when I say this, it was basically just a re-upload of the tapes with about 4 minutes worth of additional commentary, and personally I think there's a lot more you can say about these tapes. Here's how this is gonna go. I'm gonna try to play each tape in full and give my commentary and analysis after one of them is finished. I may have to cut some of them short if any copyright issues arise, but I've noticed Pixar are pretty lax when it comes to copyright protections on these, so
I wish it was Toho. But who cares? I'm not getting a strike, hopefully.
If I do run into any issues, I'll try to play the most important parts for you.
Could you watch Pixar say fuck you, like it leaves him be, oh you're good, just fuck you hoodie dude, gives me a strike just immediately. Oh you're good, Mr. Cartoonies, but you hoodie! Oh, okay. Sorry.
In conjunction with the tapes, I will also be providing some lore drops from the Elastigirl prequel book set before—
There's an Elastigirl prequel book? A real stretch. Super through and through. Elastigirl leaves...
What the
fuck? Loves using her stretchy powers to keep the people of Muinchiburg safe from catching criminals, returning lost tigers, and meeting an egotistical super named Mr. Incredible. Follow Elastigirl's exciting adventures as she tries to stop a disastrous supervillain plot before it's too late. I look, you want to read a synopsis of this.
Of Incredibles 1 whenever necessary. This is also a handy piece of lore that not many people know about, and it's also a pretty fun read. I hope this is more of a chill video. This is very different compared to what I usually do on this channel, so please let me know if you enjoyed and found this interesting, and I'll see if I can make some more videos like this one going forward.
I'm curious, what type of content does he make compared to this? Imagine it's just like fucking deep diving like the deep states. Oh, this is cool. All right, back to the thing. Influencer Smurf.
I only wish to have friends and stay with my brother.
What the fuck? All right, lock in.
The general gives you a break to keep you covered.
Yeah, whether it's on your car insurance
or taking a break from being the auto-tune guy.
Fuck up. What the fuck?
To what I usually do on this channel, so please let me know if you enjoyed and found this interesting, and I'll see if I can make some more videos like this one going forward. But first, please allow me to fulfill a contractual obligation. This video is sponsored by—
Oh, wait, hold on. Support the original creators.
Hold on. Manscaped, the men's grooming brand trusted by over 12 million men worldwide, which statistically speaking is the highest number of men you'll ever see agree on something. Hey, bull shavers, has this ever happened to you? Well, no more.
Thankfully, I've never nipped my nuts, but I've gotten massive itches, like itchiness after I shave them. And that's it. But that's TMI. Grow the fuck up, pussy. Grow up, loser. Actually, might have been TMI, I ain't gonna lie. But, you know, it's fine. Come on, lock in, fellas.
Hearing about, and feel free to skip along, though I do recommend you watch in full. Alright, let's begin.
Apogee.
Do we have to talk about the thrilling three? Yes, I was.
Okay, hold on. Power type maxed out gravity control. Travels by solar powered levitation. Wears solar enhancing membrane suits. Power increases as sun reaches apogee. High noon. Weakness, absence of sunlight, clouds, eclipse. So what? She sucks at the dark. Pretty shitty weakness, but okay. Formality. A former member of the Drilling Three disbanded. Highly intelligent, quick-witted, lacks tact, enjoys finding fault in. What a dick! What the fuck? Like, okay, you want to find a fault? Hey, but you can't work in a fuck at night, Gutty. God forbid a robber happens at night. You're just fucked, Apogee.
Part of that group, and it was well-intentioned. A bit misguided. You know, let's face it, it wasn't really the Thrilling 3. It was really the Thrilling 1 plus 2 in Gazerbeam's mind. It was less than thrilling.
Well, I mean, when one of your members can't work in a fucking, like, you know, at night, it kind of limits your ability to get recognized, doesn't it?
Less than thrilling, that's good. Well, let's see. I started out in Arizona and then migrated over to Los Angeles, which was great. I had a great long run there. A lot of work to be done. A lot of superheroes see Los Angeles as kind of a launching ground. And to be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of places to launch to from there. The solar-powered thing, you know, it's good for the environment, but it's not so good for me. It limits my ability. It limits my work hours. It makes me look like an idiot if something happens at night, you know?
Oh, yeah, so she recognized it. Okay, she's cool as shit now. Leader Gazerbeam provides cover using laser powers, tactical, Apogee, airstrike, the phalange, voice powers, the grunt of the group, the grunt. Team headquarters ruling 3 towers of the nation's capital, currently leasing out the office space pending new formation. Effective operation daylight. No suspended.
Really, it's really hard when it's nighttime for me because I'm a rather social person. I like to dance. I like to go out to dinner, and if something horrible happens, my power's not going on because the sun's not out, and so it can be frustrating at times. Unless evil breaks out at a tanning salon, I'm done for.
Notice it doesn't say the fucking price. Go fuck yourself, Google.
One thing you'll immediately notice about these tapes is the fact that every hero's weakness is either written down or said out loud, but
Cuddy, Syndrome probably got a hand of these fucking tapes, Cuddy, goddamn, they just dox all these supers.
Being interviewed. You'll also remember that in the movie, Syndrome had spent a good while killing off these exact supers one by one, and to do that he would have had to have access to some sort of classified files to know
so
about their secret identities and locations. Hunting down this many heroes who are not only in hiding but are protected by a small branch of the government is no small feat, and I personally believe that Syndrome somehow gained access to these files, which gave him all the information he needed. And I don't think it would have been that difficult for him to obtain these files given his career as an arms dealer, and he likely had a good relationship with any government or agency buying from him. Then there's also the fact that Mirage does most of the scouting and spy work for him, as seen when she's tailing Bob and Lucius at the start of the movie, and when she successfully sneaks into Insuracare to spy on Bob and deliver the message to him when he's not looking.
How the fuck did she get in an insurance company? I'm actually curious. How did she get in and no one just batted an eye? I don't know. Maybe the security guard was just horny.
This would also be a good reason for why these tapes were...
It's worth noting the menu that contains these tapes resembles Syndrome's computer, which is likely interesting details. Also very cool. I don't think it's a coincidence, Cuddy. I mean, got to these tapes, doxed them fuckers, and killed them all.
even made or thrown into the DVD as a bonus, giving us a look at all of the files Syndrome had on supers in order to kill them off one by one and train the Omnidroid. As you likely saw and heard, Apogee gets her powers via solar panels.
Yeah, that motherfucker just attacked her at night, man. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. You think when Syndrome was listening to these tapes and saw Apogee's like Wheaties, he was like, that's free eats, gang. Hey, that's free eats. That's one! But again, you wouldn't be able to test out your drone's abilities if you attack her at night. I feel like Syndrome would think that would be too easy. He wants to test out the limits of his drone first. So maybe, I don't think he did.
Which, to be a bit of a nitpicking douche for a second, is very funny considering the golden age of supers like it took place in the 40s. Supers were likely banned in 1947, and commercially viable solar panels weren't really a thing until 1954. Hey, look, we're overthinking the Incredibles here. I can be a history nerd if I want to. And
good for you, man.
It makes it very clear that she's next to useless at night. It can be rightfully assumed that Syndrome took advantage of this by having the Omnidroid attack her either at night or in an enclosed space with
that would have been too easy, though.
Light source. We also learned that she was part of the superhero group called the Thrilling Three, that consisted of her, Gazerbeam, and the Flange. We'll learn later on that superhero groups weren't that uncommon back in the day, but that they tended to fizzle out and disband due to friction between members, which may have added to the growing public resentment towards supers, given how the disbanding of these groups tarnished the national symbol of patriotism. Which is something you probably don't want to do in a recently post-World War II America.
last Blazestone.
I am very independent. I don't need helicopters. I don't need airplanes. I can heat the air underneath me and lift right up, and I don't have equipment. The flames come straight out of me. What a waste.
Golly, Eminem, chill. Oh, I'm assuming it's a copyright thing. So power is pyrotechnic, kinetic discharge, heat control and heat resistance, flies by riding on heated air. That's cool as shit. Weakness, water and below zero temperature. Water? Wait, what? Team affiliation, Beta Force. Once partners with Frozone, but relationship ran hot and cold. Sassy. Arrested and jailed, recruited by NSA. Watch closely to ensure she operates within NSA guidelines.
Superheroes have equipment, and I think that's just a waste. You have to maintain it all the time. I just have my super suit, and that's about it. I like my independence. You know, the NSA knows that I'm very independent, and, you know, a team, you know, surrounding, you know, they do look after me, and which is good and everything. You know, they always have to keep an eye on me. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I only light a couple of things on fire that I shouldn't light on fire. I mean, it's not my fault. I mean, it is very hard to, you know, keep everything under wraps. Sometimes my temper, you know, I can get a little bit hot-headed, but not much. I mean, when I think about things that kind of anger me just a little bit, you know, then boom, you know, the building lights on fire, and then...
So she's an arsonist. So she can light a whole building on fire by like stubbing her toe or getting a temper tantrum. Imagine you get her order wrong at fucking McDonald's, cut it, your car's on fire.
Next thing you know, the hills light on fire, and then Frozone has to come along and you know, cool everything down, and then I have to be grateful and say, oh, thank you, Frozone, I really appreciate it. But you know, he's really annoying. He thinks he's all that, and I do enjoy being independent.
He is all that. I ain't gonna lie, it's Frozone, gang. Not to glaze, actually all glaze. It's Frozone, bitch.
You know, they recognize that, and I love my powers, and you know, I don't have to carry any equipment on me, and I really enjoy that.
Could you say that again?
Wait, what? Do you want me to say the whole thing again? I thought it was perfectly clear. You want me to go back again, the whole thing? I don't understand.
Golly. No, okay, leader not applicable. Shock and awe. Blaze takes them down by using pyrotechnic powers. Universal Man flushes them out by creating confusion and panic. Effective operations, night only. Team headquarters, abandoned World's Fair Pavilion, statue of Atlas. Paired together by NSA as part of Blazestone's rehabilitation. These two would be great if they don't kill each other first.
Oh,
so they were both criminals.
I am so sorry. I know what the problem is. I keep on forgetting which dimension I'm in. Wait,
what?
Which dimension am I in?
It's the biggest deal in breakfast. 2 wake-up wraps and a hot or iced coffee. It's Dunkin's $5 meal deal.
Imagine you accidentally squished her with the Dunkin' ice cup. 2 1-skippable ads, nice. He just beats his ass, Scuddy. That's metal!
You make it through security so fast.
What the fuck?
Blazestone is very interesting, and before anyone asks, no, she does not have any dimensional warping powers or anything of the sort. I've seen a few people online suggest that her comments about not knowing what dimension she's in after realizing she's talking too fast suggest that she travels through different dimensions, despite that not being one of her listed powers at all. She's just described as a pyrotechnic by the NSA, and if she did have powers of this magnitude, I believe they would have absolutely had it written down somewhere. So for all we know, she just has a habit of talking really, really fast. It's not a very exciting answer, but it is funny. As seen in the notes here, before she became a superhero, she was arrested in jail for some sort of crime that we're not told about, only to be recruited.
She probably burned down an orphanage.
And rehabilitated by the National Supers Agency, who kept her on a tight leash while she performed hero work. Surprisingly, she used to be in a relationship with Frozone, but that doesn't really get elaborated on too much. And she even teamed up with Universal Man as a dynamic duo called Beta Force, who seemed to only operate during the night compared to most of the other heroes who operated at basically any time. However, she would defect from the NSA and fall on the wrong side of the law once again later on. This isn't explained in the NSA tapes, but is actually shown in the Elastigirl prequel book.
I wonder what made her crack. Imagine.
Organized a group of criminals together in order to steal a bunch of stuff and leave the city, only to be foiled by Elastigirl, Downburst, Mr. Incredible, Frozone, and even Universal Man. Sometime after Blazestone was released from jail, she was targeted by Syndrome, who likely took advantage of her weakness to water and cold temperatures.
I ain't gonna lie, these past weaknesses have been lame as shit. Your weakness is the night, and the other weakness is water. So theoretically, gonna beat you with a water gun? The ALS ice bucket challenges her kryptonite. Downburst.
My powers are atomic density manipulation, ability to reshape matter.
Cool as shit.
Say you have a cut or a boo-boo.
Boo-boo?
On your arm. I can, I can probably do something about that. I'm not exactly a Band-Aid. I'm a little bit better than that. I'll actually heal it. So I got my start in a doctor's office, actually. It seemed like a good place to start at the time, but it's pretty boring in there, actually, and I got a little tired of it. The doctors, they didn't appreciate what I was doing as much anymore, and I wanted something a little sexier, than just cleaning up wounds. So,
yeah, I got you. But what could you do? See, okay, he reshapes me. I could be useless. Fuck those. It's like Full Metal Alchemist, like Elric. Okay, can I reshape matter into complex forms? Okay, wait, what's considered a complex form? Reshaping organics limited to healing small wounds. Personality continuing NSA training to develop ability to reshape matter into complex manufactured objects. Current focus, bicycle. Armor Credit Crush on Blazestone. Dislikes Frozone. Do not bring up in... Okay.
So I thought I would try this whole superhero thing. See how that went for me. Currently, I'm focusing in on trying to reshape different materials into bicycles. It's sort of a hobby. I'm starting to gain some acceptance within the superhero community. I've gone to conferences and stuff, and at first I started in the back of the room just sort of as an onlooker. Now I have my own, I have a table I get to sit at now.
That's nice.
Some heroes talk to me.
It's so sad. Ronnie 2K lore, bitch.
Especially if they want a bicycle.
Downburst seems fairly chill, honestly. He doesn't seem like the strongest hero ever, but his atomic manipulation powers seem fairly neat. By the time this interview was recorded, it didn't seem like he got very far of making them super useful, given his healing capabilities were only limited to small wounds, which in all fairness does seem pretty handy in battle. The Elastigirl prequel book, however, did show that he had gotten more effective of healing, and his atom generation abilities also led to him creating the original Elasticycle for Elastigirl. A lot of Downburst's lore seems to be closely tied to Elastigirl, honestly. Despite not being the strongest hero ever, he shockingly did manage to beat the second version of the Omnidroid, which a lot of people would look over because the Kronos unveiled scene in The Incredibles cuts away on the second version killing Blazestone, and then cuts back to Downburst being killed by the third version. Downburst doesn't seem to have any real serious weaknesses listed on here, so it's likely the Omnidroid just beat him through sheer brute force after learning all his moves in the first fight. Also, as a side note, can we talk about just how incredible the voice acting is in these tapes? Without exaggeration, this is some of the most natural and realistic sounding.
Imagine you just got random fucking interns or random people working the fucking movie. Hey, buddy. You have a nice voice. Come here. Oh, okay.
voice work I've ever heard. It really does feel like these characters are having casual, down-to-earth conversations, and it really sells how interesting these are to listen to, and also how kinda eerie this all is when you really think about it. 90% of these people are dead, and the realistic voice acting really sells that these are all real people with their own lives. These aren't just one-off cartoon characters created for the express purpose of being killed off screen. A lot of thought was put into all of their powers, designs, and personalities. It makes Syndrome superhero genocide feel so much more tragic, and listening to these classified government recordings of them in their prime is oddly creepy.
I like it. What?
Hey, if you live in one of these cities right here, why don't you own an apartment building?
Why don't you have hair, buddy? How about that? Want to come on my shit? Why don't you have hair? Why are you bald?
Seriously, let me show you a...
Fuck off! Damn. Dynaguy. I think I've seen Dynaguys.
Being a superhero, one of the first things you gotta do is...
Powers disintegration rate disrupts atomic force among atoms. Flight powered by ion propulsion gauntlets. Limited range for disintegration. The object must be close. You can disintegrate. Yeah, I knew about Dynaguy. The big Dyna. Or personality. Original member at the Thrilling 3. Replaced after death by Gazer Beam. Oh, so he's the original part of the Thrilling 3, but he died. This is the guy that died from the Cape, right? Impulsive and reckless. NSA mediation regiment. Died in action suit malfunction. So it was the one. NSA ion propulsion gauntlets recovered.
Just figure out what you want the people to call you. I started out, well, let's go with the power. But, forehead ray disintegration guy, that was too long. I couldn't do that every time I went out to save someone. Walk up to a supervillain, it's like, stop, it's forehead ray disintegration man, and by then he's already turned tail and run. Yeah. So one day I'm having lunch in a local diner, and I'm really desperate. I haven't thought of a name yet, so I'm just looking around. It's like Fork Man didn't work. How about Spoon Dude? Banana cream pie throwing man.
Or Hoodie Dude. No! Shut up.
Black and white TV guy, Menu Mensch. Oh, that didn't work. The napkin dispenser guy. I didn't really want that name, but I see the placemat. It's Ralph's Diner, and thinking maybe Diner Guy. But no, like if my name's Diner Guy, it's like I'm only protecting the diner. When people come in, I defend the diner, and I didn't want to restrict myself to that. Keep thinking Dynaguy. It actually fit together. I thought it had a good ring to it. So I started saying it to myself. It was like dynamite and dynamo and dynamic and dinosaur.
God damn, Cuddy, say the fucking name, bro. God damn. No way you this fucking dense, Cuddy. This is probably why you died to a suit malfunction. Like it's like he's missing the damn hole, Cuddy. Just say it. Put it together. Golly, Cuddy. Dynamites. All mites, all for one, Dynalance. Just say it, gang!
They all sort of meant big and powerful, and I just think all those words, they really sounded dynamic, which...
Say that again.
You put them together and you get me.
Okay, that was really cute. No, I kind of fuck with Dynaguy now. My fault for my outburst.
Dynaguy is the first hero we listened to who was already long dead by the time supers were banned in the first movie, being one of the many victims of cape-related suit malfunctions.
Dynaguy, he had a great look. Oh, the cape and the boots.
And he blew up.
Okay.
There isn't a whole lot we can get from Dynaguy other than he shot disintegration rays from his forehead, and he was the original member of the Thrilling Three, only to be replaced by Gazer Beam after he died. It's also written down that the NSA managed to recover his ion propulsion gauntlets and...
You think Syndrome took them bitches?
Reassigning them to another hero after his death.
Elastigirl. I think I want to skip this one, because she's still alive. But
when
you know
you're
what?
a female superhero, getting clothes that don't wear out after a couple of wearings. I mean, after one good fight, I don't want to look like a housefrau.
Okay, you know what? I like Elastigirl. Full body elasticity, functional stretch, limit length 30 meters, minimum thickness 1 millimeter, strength diminishes in proportion to max. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Aggressive, go-getter, reliable, refuse offer to lead new super team, hero incorporated, romantically pursued by many top heroes, but prefers her freedom. Heartbreaker. You know what? I would assume so.
Like I'm wearing a burlap sack. So, yeah, I've spent so much money. I've been broke trying to put together a good wardrobe.
And just like that, I relate to Elastigirl on a whole new level. I love you, Elastigirl.
For work. And that's just when is this problem going to be solved for me? I can't wait for the day when somebody can put together a good line of action wear. You know,
say that again.
Action wear that will be form-fitting, that will recover after a couple of good days of work, that can really function and has style. Okay, look. If I do a couple of good moves, hold on. If I do a couple of moves like, I'm sorry. Well,
just beat the shit out of the camera guy. Ah! The intern has a fucking heel up his eyelid.
I do a couple of moves like this.
Oh my gosh, he killed the intern.
I'm sorry. Like that. I mean, look at the underarms. My armpits are like practically down to my knees. This is like very, very unattractive. It's like bagging out around my hips. And I was looking nice before, and now it's, maybe I'm as big as a house in this thing. Hey!
Well?
Is there somebody out there? I mean, is there any like good wardrobe designer?
I might know someone who could do it.
Help! I'm looking for a little help here, okay?
Name's
God, he is right. This voice acting is so phenomenal.
She is a bit tough to deal with, and she won't come cheap.
You know what? I got a good question. How come the NSA, the National Supers Association, isn't paying for my action wear, huh?
I like her.
Just remember to save your receipts.
I don't think you guys want me playing for any other team, do you?
Even though we're all very familiar with Elastigirl by this point, there's still some cool points of interest here. She was offered to lead a new superhero.
Can she elasticize her fucking hair? Is it just her her body, not her hair? And I'm curious.
Team called Heroes Incorporated and denied the offer, and was often romantically pursued by a lot of supers and kept shooting them down, preferring her freedom and independence. This further adds to the juxtaposition shown with her and Mr. Incredible during the opening interview of The Incredibles. How Bob wants to settle down and raise a family, whereas Helen is still constantly thinking about hero work, and how once they got married and raised a family together, they completely swapped priorities. This interview also marks the first time Elastigirl is taught about Edna Mode, sparking their partnership and leading to the creation of her classic suit we're all familiar with. Towards the end of the interview, she gets a bit feisty of the NSA about how they aren't paying for her damaged super suits, which are costing her hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars to replace.
That's valid as fuck!
Making what sounds like a small threat to play for a different team if this isn't sorted out for her. There's a couple of conclusions you can reach with a statement like this, but given the time period, and stay with me here, she's probably referring to the USSR.
What? Wait, okay, maybe.
Already seen with the disbanding of the Thrilling Three that superheroes and superhero groups were closely tied to the image of American patriotism, and given the Cold War technically commenced in the mid-1940s and before supers were banned, that gives this little threat a lot more weight. Now, I don't think Elastigirl was genuinely going to team up with the USSR if her suits weren't paid for, but I do think she was being cheeky and tried to light a fire under the NSA's ass so she wasn't forced to pay for suits that couldn't withstand her powers.
I like Elastigirl. So far, my favorite one's Elastigirl. Oh, she's very relatable. I like Elastigirl.
You see, when one is...
Why is his eyes closed? Or Everseer. Magnoscopic vision, telepathy and clairvoyance, weakness, mind-reading animals. Wait, what? Especially squirrels. Personality, team, phantasmics, obsessive-compulsive, germophobic, prefers to avoid, god damn, Cuddy, a laundry list of personality traits. Prefers to avoid physical contact, unmarried. Okay. Damn. Golly, was that necessary? Shared therapist practice with Psychic or Psychwave. Author of a Shut Up, Quieting Your Inner Voice, and Beware Unseen Dangers of the Microscopic
World. There's a certain catalog of expectations that are incorporated with it. Say, the physical appearance. Yes, I stay in shape. Yes, I have the colorful outfit that goes along with it. But you see what is inside. The perception, the sensitivity, the foresight, and the psychic awareness are what is important and what makes us different.
Ah! I'm back.
What makes us
Let me check it. Double check.
Transcend mere knocking about. Yes, I can mix it up. Oh, I can fight with the rest of them. I can knock 3 people through walls if I have to. But why do that when through the process of the mind... You can avert conflict before it happens.
So he's like Ant-Man. Okay, so he's like Ant-Man in the Avengers of my... Okay, I got you.
I can make you perceive that I'm beating you up without even touching you with rapier intellect.
Okay, that's cool.
Quite frankly, there are a lot of things that come along with being a superhero, the whacking, the battering, that I find quite unpleasant. And frankly, it's the germs. They're everywhere, and they're so small, and saliva, and blood, and bits of bone and tooth. There's a lot of supervillains. Frankly, they're not clean people. They don't take care of their hygiene. I mean, you punch a mouth, and who knows what's on you after that. If cleanliness is next to godliness, then ungodliness is dirty.
Yep.
I can deal with a messy psyche, but I cannot deal with a messy bathroom. I mean, why can't people just clean up once in a while and wipe a sink or they leave hair?
Ugh. No, I feel him. I fucking Overseer. Overseer is my favorite one. And I remember he's dead. He canonically got ripped to shreds. But that's my guy!
Don't they see it? Don't they see the scum building up? I mean, it is just a nightmare.
Clean yourselves! Wipe your ass!
And they have not touched it in months. We're scrubbing. Are we out of time?
Everseer has a funny voice and I like him, being part of one of the few successful superhero groups in this universe, the Phantasmics. Something I've noticed of a decent number of heroes in these tapes is that some of them really aren't that strong. Downburst and Everseer seem to fill more supportive roles than actually engaging in the crime fighting themselves, with Everseer specifically relying on telepathy to avoid unnecessary violence and to reorganize the Phantasmics and coordinate an attack. I can't imagine he fared very well against the Omnidroid.
No, that motherfucker died. He saw his blood, Cuddy, and saw the germs in that and started hyperventilating.
Wouldn't have lasted.
Or maybe like Syndrome knew about this and gave Omnidroid like a fucking fart gun. Killed Overseer on the spot.
Long, especially since he was facing it alone without the rest of his team. I also greatly doubt that Syndrome was able to capitalize on his weakness because... I mean, read this for a sec. It's very likely Everseer died quickly. An interesting but non-canon tidbit here is that there was a line of Incredibles comics by Boom Studios that I also had no idea existed until recently, and before the comics were cancelled and the canonicity was thrown up in the air thanks to Incredibles 2, Everseer foresaw his death at the hands of the Omnidroid years before it actually happened, and that when he was killed, his brain was preserved and was used by the main villain Zarek. That's about the extent of my knowledge regarding these comics, and what happens after this isn't known due to the comics cancellation, but I thought this was an interesting bit of trivia to add.
Frozone.
I've had some mishaps as Frozone, but generally I've learned how to take, lemons and make lemonade, And I've been able to do some things.
Hot dogger? You freaky frog! What the fuck? Maybe he's a Joey Chestnut type of hot dogger, not the gooner one, the porn one. Sean touches Mr. Incredible, no formal team affiliation. Try competing in Winter Olympics is Frozone rejected by
people that possibly would have turned out quite badly had I not been there. I've gone on vacations with friends of mine who were looking forward to a great ski vacation, and we got there, snow was melting. Hey, I was able to go out and make that happen. I'm like the human Zamboni. One day, I must have been, I don't know, maybe 1.5, 2 years old.
I ain't gonna lie, if I'm the interviewer, Cuddy, I'm asking him about Blazestone. Cuddy, we need to get that shit down ASAP, Cuddy. That's incredibly inappropriate. I don't give a fuck. Hey, off the record, man.
And I had a glass of Kool-Aid, and I really wanted a popsicle. And in my mind, I was thinking, popsicle, next thing I know, Kool-Aid was frozen in the glass.
Damn.
I was like licking it. And from that point on, anytime I wanted to freeze something, I just thought about it being frozen, and it was frozen. I was elated. I'm a superhero because that's who I am. If it was possible, I would love to just tell the world who I am and let them know. But
let them
I have
know.
no privacy.
Oh, that's true.
There'd be, babes lined up around my house. There'd be guys calling every day trying to ask for a super favor. You know how that is.
Aside from getting a recount
I'm broke.
of the time Frozone discovered his powers, there's also an important detail here of his listed weaknesses: heat and low humidity environments. Now, no shit, right? Obviously that's Frozone's weakness. He even says as much in the movie.
You can't run out of ice. I thought you could use the water in the air. There is no water in this air.
And it would probably be pretty obvious to figure out that if you're going up against an ice-based superhero, that their weakness would probably be heat-related. However, the fact these are on the NSA files, and we've already established it's very likely Syndrome had these files,
Also, it's just common sense,
more weight to the idea that the first Omnidroid fought by Mr. Incredible was not originally meant for him, but was instead meant for Frozone. Think about it, the first time we meet Mirage, she specifically
was targeting Frozone. She said, oh, we found a fat one too,
telling Frozone, and doesn't realize Mr. Incredible is with him until they save people from a burning building, where she tells whoever she's on the phone to switch targets to Mr. Incredible given Syndrome's obsession with him. It's likely they didn't have the time to change the Omnidroid to accommodate for Mr. Incredible's strengths and weaknesses, which explains why the Omnidroid chases Mr. Incredible down to the lava, as that was the plan for Frozone. It would render his powers completely obsolete due to the extreme heat. Then there's also the fact that this Omnidroid's eyes are blue instead of the red that it has later on, and the fact Syndrome already had Frozone's location written down, and it all starts to click together.
You! Gamma Jack!
There's always going to be a lot of collateral damage. There's lots of villains and
okay. So his powers are extremely fucking strong. Control radiation bursts, focus bursts, and complete disintegration. Maximum range of high intensity bursts is 100 meters. Sharp intensity fall off over distance. Personality, originally known as Handsome Jack. That sounds like a creepypasta. A favorite of the ladies. Prone to tyrannical, maniacal impulses. Believes supers to be a superior race. Picky eater. NXT recommends close A-level monitoring. Dude, what the fuck? Like, Gamma Jack's a fucking racist!
There's lots of villainous deeds going on at any given
it's
time.
It's the evil Dr. Umar. Or maybe he's just Dr. Umar, depending on who you ask.
Part of my job is to prioritize which villains I'm going to combat. So I take a look around. I see if there's any good-looking women who need to be rescued immediately.
Motherfucker, if you chopped, you cook. You cook, gang. Hey.
Immediately, and then I sort of start from there and work my way down the list. If you've got Tubby Joe Schmo over there with a laser pointed at his head, and he might have to wait in line a little while.
Damn, Tubby Joe Schmo.
Yeah, I've fought my fair share of villains, and they all have their own unique challenges. They got their zombie monkeys and their giant laser robots and their super aquatic ninja pygmies. But I tell you, once in a while, the real kicker is I get these dames, man, these dame villains, and they got the curves and the hair and the big eyes, and boy, those ones, they're really, really hard to kill.
Ooh. Imagine the #1 Gamma Jack fan in the world, right? Number one Gamma Jack fan, right? Got the merch, got the tickets, got the gear, got the toys, got the comics, got all the fancy schmancy shit. and he's like in a crime, like where like he's about like debris is about to fall on him, right? And he looks to he looks straight ahead, Cuddy. It's Gamma Jack flying towards him. He's ecstatic. Gamma Jack's gonna save me from the debris. It's so cool. It's like a live action comic come to life. And then Gamma Jack fly past them to save the fucking 10 out of 10 baddie, Cuddy, with daddy issues, bro. Is like a medic in Battlefield 6, motherfucker. He then dies. Tubby Joe Smo is no more.
You know, especially the ones that they come up and, you know, and they're looking at you and you're looking at them and you feel that simpatico, you know, like she's digging you and you're digging her, digging you, and boy, you really got to take a jog around the block real quick and, you know, sort of get your concentration back, compose yourself, because, you know, you can't get distracted by these sort of thoughts when you're going up against a super villain. That's one of the hard parts of the jobs, you know, when you come across a dame who's really something to look at, and you just gotta let her have it because she's a villain. Yeah, those are the bad days.
Holy God, Gamma Jack is a piece of work, alright? This was the tape that convinced me to make this video in the first place, and it's probably the most known about and discussed tape in the bunch due to how
this is what I knew.
Obscenely out of pocket this guy
That's
is.
crazy.
Firstly, let's talk about Jack's powers real quick.
Fucking
Controlled
incredibly strong.
radiation bursts, from focused burns to complete disintegration. I really want to know how Jack even died to the second Omnidroid he fought, because
maybe they shot like fucking, I don't know, like Jelly. Ryan's toy reviews, Jelly worked on Syndrome when he was a child.
Is incredibly overpowered and, given his personality, super dangerous. He can either choose to shoot you with a cancer ray or just straight up toss a nuke at you. Why would you even be a criminal in Metroville when this guy is running around? And what makes his powers more terrifying is just the kind of person Jack is. Not only does he sound like a chronic narcissist, but he's also just a bad person in general. Choosing to prioritize women he finds most attractive in a dangerous scenario and then working down the list, looking down at anyone he finds unattractive and saving them last. The NSA files also describe him as a super supremacist, believing that supers are a superior race, and that he's frequently prone to tyrannical and megalomaniacal impulses. Couple this with the
megalomaniacal, there we go.
Fact that he gets so down bad horny when encountering a female supervillain, and nonchalantly describes his frustration and difficulty with having to kill them, and the fact that unlike every other hero in these tapes, he is incredibly open about the fact that he just straight up kills people. I think we got a textbook psychopath on our hands here. I wasn't kidding with that jab at the start of the video. Gamma Jack is the closest thing the Incredibles universe has to Homeland.
Shut up! Not too much on the GOAT Homelander, because I'm not going to go on my tyrannical rant.
He scares the NSA so bad they have him under close A-level monitoring.
I'm gonna kill that fucker. Take it to the back of Odie Eller.
There was a legitimate risk that this guy could have become a supervillain later down the line. I mean, Christ, his original name was Handsome Jack. I mean, you know what I'm gonna say. I'm honestly shocked it took Mr. Incredible saving a guy from killing himself and injuring a bunch of people in a train accident for the public to officially turn against heroes.
That is true. How come he doesn't have a lawsuit?
People like Gamma Jack running around giving people cancer and likely leaving hundreds of people to die just because he's a massive horn dog. Any so-called superhero who describes civilian casualties as collateral damage is a massive red flag. And honestly, as bad as this might sound, I'm kind of
glad he's dead.
Killed him off.
You don't gotta be. That does not sound bad, Cuddy. I'll say it for you. I'm glad this motherfucker's 6 feet under in a goddamn Kurt Cobain concert, bitch. This motherfucker needed to go. He needed to go. Again, he needed to fucking go. He's insane. Fuck that shit.
First movie. There is so much potential for Gamma Jack as a villain, and while it's very wishful thinking, I kinda want Incredibles 3 to focus on him if they find some way to bring him back. I mean, it's not entirely impossible he's dead. Remember, Mr. Incredible managed to evade being detected by Syndrome after his defeat, and the system had him classified as terminated. So what if Gamma Jack did survive? What if he tries to start a superhero revolution in the third movie? It won't happen, but I like thinking about the missed potential sometimes.
The GOAT! The big GB! Game battles.
I think the question I get asked
I've seen this one too.
Is
I've seen this one plus a sad edit.
What happened with the Thrilling 3 was working fine for me. That I have no problem working in groups. I think we were very successful.
What the fuck?
I think at times we may have been among the best.
Among the best. Like, I love his voice. His voice is so sexy. What do you do? That's I guess is part, but at the same time though, am I wrong? He has a nice sounding fucking voice, guy. He's the PSA sounding voice, gang.
But a team is just that, a team.
A team is just
and anytime you take individuals and you put them in a contained environment, they tend to react like oil and water sometimes.
I low-key really want Mr. Freeze to sound like this. I don't know why.
Peanut butter and chocolate. Although peanut butter and chocolate does taste good together, so that's actually a bad example. I quite enjoy that. I think the thing I get asked about the most, of course, is my laser vision. People tend to think it's a real picnic to have eyes that shoot lasers, but believe it or not, it's had its disadvantages. If I look at anything too intently, it tends to burst into flames, which can be a real pickle in a relationship scenario. When you're conversing with somebody, a normal person would be able to look them square in the eye. I avert my gaze, which is often interpreted as disinterest, or rather daft or stupid, which couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm a man of culture, a man of passion, and I would say a man of humor, which is not widely known. On the outside, I appear calm and cool, perhaps even collected, but on the inside, I'm guffawing away on the steamship of hilarity. I'm not sure if that made very much sense.
Made sense to me, goat.
Firstly, I didn't expect Gazerbeam's voice to be that deep, Mike.
That's what I'm saying, Cuddy! That's what I'm saying!
Goodness. And secondly...
Hey, Cuddy. Hey, bruh.
Yeah, Gazerbeam...
I ain't gay, but respectfully... Hey!
He's kinda dull. He seems like a super nice guy and everything, but the NSA writing down that he has no sense of humor is probably the funniest thing in these tapes. It's interesting to hear him talk about the feeling free in comparison to Apogee, though. Apogee seemed to be very frustrated with the fact that Gazerbeam seemed to take the spotlight after he replaced Dynaguy, and how they weren't much of a team at all after Dynaguy died.
Motherfucker, shut up. Your weakness is nighttime. I don't want to hear it, alright? Let's see what Flange has to say, because he's part of the 3-2. You were just mad Gazerbeam took the spotlight, because it's the big gazer! The gazer!
And the fact that Apogee's powers made her useless during the night, and the possibility that the flange was losing his powers over time, and it becomes clear they just didn't work well together and it led to the team disbanding. Gazerbeam, on the other hand, was completely unaware anything was wrong. Not due to ego or denial or anything, but because he just isn't great with people. This can also be seen in the file for the Phantasmic, since Gazerbeam actually used to be a member of the team, but left due to him and Everseer not seeing eye to eye.
Get it?
I find all of these details about his character fascinating, especially because in the movie, we don't really know much about Gazerbeam other than he used to be friends with Bob, advocated for the restored legality of superheroes after they were outlawed, and was probably the most important player in Syndrome's downfall when he carved a password to the computer in the wall. Honestly, the more I learn about Gazerbeam, the more upset I get about his death. Incredibles 2 had a deleted memorial service scene for him that also provided a decent backstory for him.
Like, why?
He was encouraged to be a superhero by Mr. Incredible.
Is that Gamma Jack?
Or Frozone, and Gamma Jack, what the fuck are you hanging around him for? And how he really struggled to integrate back into civilian life, given he was already a societal outcast and struggled with fitting in. It makes his death specifically pretty heartbreaking.
I need a prequel, gang. Hypershock.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Hypershock.
Hello, Hypershock. Everyone say hi to Hypershock. Hi.
So I have seismic wave generation, which is the ability to create earthquake-like disruptions in the ground to stop the bad guys with my dual seismic amplification hammers on one on each hand.
That's cool. Okay, that's cool.
I did not buy them at the hardware store.
Okay, I wasn't gonna ask.
Fly around with my vector thrust fusion rocket with my dual seismic amplification hammers on one on each hand. No, I did not buy them at the hardware store. Fly around with my vector thrust fusion rocket rucksack, getting from place to place. And my powers are ineffectual and non-solid materials, but if I can get a 6.0 on the Richter scale, I can generally stop whoever's out there. And
you good, man?
We got to talk about this. Hang on. Hey, Irv.
Wait, bad temper requires a lot of praise. Fondness for drink. Oh boy.
Where's Irv?
Fuck it,
coffee. Yes, hello. I need some coffee. Very nice. No, I don't want tea. I want coffee, and put some aspirin in it or something. How about coffee made from aspirin? You know, you people, you just don't do your homework. And look at this. What is this? Cheap. Spend a little money on your gear if you're going to have a super in here, okay? And you, who are you?
Oh.
You know?
I ain't gonna lie. If I'm in that room, he says, "You! Who are you?" I ain't gonna lie, I'm shitting myself. I'm letting out tears, man.
Could be out solving crime at the very least. We're solving this hangover. Ow!
He can create earthquakes, by the way.
Oh.
Now, obviously, it would be unrealistic to expect a movie as surprisingly grounded in reality as The Incredibles to not have a couple of sour superheroes walking around who aren't exactly the best people. And while it's very tough to top Gamma
Wait,
Jack...
Dynaguy got sued? Wait, hold on. X-Ray Peeping Tom, citizens arrest Nabs Do-Gooder.
Heroes walking around who...
Another bull rescues and disaster landmark damage.
Aren't exactly the best people.
Dynaguy got charged with public endangerment, faces damage. Oh, right.
And while it's very tough to top...
What if he burned someone alive?
Gamma Jack in this department, Hypershock is a bit concerning. The tape being recorded while he's suffering from a really bad hangover doesn't help, but the fellas pointing out that he has a really bad temper and likes to drink often are not exactly qualities you'd like to have in someone who will be attempting to save your life. Given a number of casualties Gamma Jack has more than likely caused and a number of people he's refused to save, I don't think it's out of the question to suggest that Hypershock may have been drunk on the job at many points, and I wouldn't be surprised if anyone being saved by Hypershock
How was Mr. Incredible the first one sued? Macro burst.
Macroburst audio file incomplete. Damaged during mission. Audio file for Macroburst mission recovered, but determined incomplete by NSA Division Delta.
Macroburst is the first interview to be completely missing, and something about hearing all of the previous interviews in full and suddenly being hit with
Macroburst audio file incomplete.
That is very eerie. High velocity wind generation, airborne through wind propulsion, weakness claustrophobic. Okay, that makes sense. So it's like Storm. Well, not really, because Storm has like weather control, but he can control. Okay, got you. Team affiliation, Phantasmic supplies groups, superstation provides some Phantasmic served as a sidekick to Overseer, referred to as the Kid. Oddly androgynous due to constant wind disruption, is obsessed with maintaining his or her hairstyle.
Damage during mission.
Makes this entire thing much eerier. I don't really know how to describe it. As for Macroburst themselves, are described as oddly androgynous and their gender was rather ambiguous.
So
not even the NSA could determine if they were male, female, or NB. Not much is known about them besides the fact that they were the first hero to destroy an Omnidroid, but would inevitably fall victim to the second version.
Metaman.
Audio file for Metaman found missing. Assumed confiscated during surprise attack by Baron von Ruthless.
Doom?
Metaman's file is also missing, but there's actually a decent amount here. For one thing, Metaman was also shown as one of the many heroes who died due to a cape malfunction as shown in the first movie. Which
trash ass.
is a shame, because looking at his stats, he seemed absolutely cracked.
And he died to an elevator.
3 out of 4 bars maxed out, 1 nearly there, and only suffering in intelligence and indestructibility. This would suggest that Metaman might have been one of the strongest heroes on the planet.
Would he? Because a bullet could stop him.
Look at how many powers this guy had. Flight, super strength, x-ray vision, teleportation, magnetic manipulation, partial invisibility, and could even communicate with aquatic mammals. That's a massive hodgepodge of powers to throw into one guy. He's like a Superman Swiss Army knife. In fact,
that can get killed by bullets.
It's likely he was considered by many to be this universe's equivalent to Superman and seemed to genuinely be committed to hero work. If any other hero had asked the NSA if they could oversee all of the current superhero teams, I think they would have been shut down. The fact the NSA were considering it shows just how much they trusted him. The reasoning for the file being missing is that it was apparently stolen by Baron von Ruthless, a notorious supervillain in the world of the Incredibles and the sworn enemy of Metaman. So notorious, in fact, that there was even a time where Frozone got caught by him and managed to escape due to Ruthless's habit of monologuing, which if you don't remember is the story Lucius recounts to Bob near the start of the movie.
What does Baron von Ruthless do?
He starts monologuing.
He starts monologuing. I mean, the guy has me on a platter and he won't shut up.
I think if Metaman had lived beyond his cape malfunction, Syndrome probably would have been cooked, right? Like, I just don't see how he would have died to the Omnidroid.
I don't know, bruh. That indestructibility is so low. That's the man of glass, Scuddy. Not man of steel, bruh. I don't know.
You know, some superheroes, they pay attention to
God, look at my man. Look at my goats, Cuddy. Strength, endurance. Oh, my God.
Look, when they're first breaking in, but then they...
Mega strength for near invulnerability, ability to sense imminent danger, incredible Mevcar or Credimobile with onboard weaponry, danger finder. Okay, easily distracted, inability to set priorities. Extremely possessive if NSA supplied incredible. One legendary eating contest with Thunderhead, an NSA picnic eating 47 fat ass. Nickname around the NSA Mr. Inedible.
Sloppy. I mean, I don't want to name names, but okay, the flange. You remember the flange?
Yeah.
Oh, flange. I mean, I love that guy. Hey, flange, you know I love you, and I'm not talking out of school here, but the outfit, come on. I mean, he wore that out. He didn't even have it cleaned. He had schmutz on it from other battles that he'd fought, and he actually worked on a signature yodel for a year. A superhero yodel. If you can grasp that, I mean, yeah, I'd see him occasionally. You know, we'd be at the same catastrophe, and he would come up to me, "Hey, Mr. I, I've been working on it. What do you think?" Ooh, I mean, is that disgusting or what? Pull yourself together, brother Flange. You're representing something here. It was embarrassing. It was a waste of time. And quite frankly, it was denigrating to the profession. Kids cannot look up to a yodeler.
What I find most interesting about Mr. Incredible's file here is not just the acknowledgement from the NSA that he was extremely possessive over the Incredible, something that would become way more obvious in Incredibles 2 when he found out it was being sold at an auction.
They said it was... That's my car!
But also this little bit of info here. Ability to sense imminent danger. Now, I had no idea this was an actual power Mr. Incredible had until now. I thought he was just super strong and hard to take down.
I think they just mean he's really like... He's good to deduce shit. I don't think he has like danger sense.
He had an uncanny ability to sense imminent danger. That alone recontextualizes a lot. Like the scene with Bon Voyage, for example.
No, I think he's just intuitive. I think he's just intuitive.
I thought he just heard the beeping of the bombs, but from the distance he was at, it had to have been almost impossible. So he probably just sensed that something was wrong before getting closer and finally being able to actually hear them. And then there's also what this adds to him in general when he has to go into hiding. Bob's midlife crisis will likely have been worsened because of this power. Constantly being able to sense imminent danger happening and the frustration he feels knowing he can't do anything about it without risking him or his family's safety and security and breaking the law. If I was given the ability to sense any kind of danger before it happens, and I was forced to do nothing about it for the rest of my life, and I know I can be the difference maker, it would probably drive me insane. It's no wonder Bob found it hard to settle down like Helen did. He's got a stranger danger whistle going off in his head every time he walks down the street. Christ, what an agonizing 15 years that must have been.
That is so cool. Well, not for him, but for me it is, as a viewer. The flange, the yodeler.
I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. I just, you know, it's...
You need a cough drop gang? Doc Rivers? Sonic Field voice projection. Transportation to Thrilling 3 chopper. Motorcycle with 2 sidecars. Weakness, sonic feedback, Larryitis. Team affiliation, Thrilling 3 not disbanded. Demands respect he doesn't earn. Selfish. Never embraced by the public. Quit Thrilling 3 because he saw the team as Gazer Beam's gang. Discovered powers while selling peanuts at ballpark. Secret identity, opera singer.
It's kind of off day for me. I blew out the pipes. I was trying to seal off this thing that came out of the water. You know, the villains, they always got those bases and stuff. So the funny thing is I blow out my pipes by blowing out the pipes. You know what I'm saying? It's a little joke, you know. The play on words. Yeah, well, you know, the Thrilling 3, what can I say? That was a good idea. I mean, I'm not sure I really know what happened. You know, people blame me and they say there were these, you know, conflicts. Excuse me. A little dry, but, you know, I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, you know, Gazer Beam and I got along fine. Excuse me, I'm having a little trouble. You know, it was a democratic situation. You know.
I wonder how many edits would be made if superheroes are real in real life.
You know, it was good. I don't know what people are saying. Excuse me.
Dude, this is Doc Rivers, bro.
I like Gazer Beam. He was a good guy. Excuse me.
This is so phenomenal. I love this shit, dude. This is so cool.
The Flange was one of the more unpopular superheroes with the public, struggling a lot with the fact that he was never embraced by them and desperately wanting to... Despite this, he was still a part of the Thrilling 3 with Apogee and Gazer Beam, but would eventually leave thinking Gazer Beam was the only one of them actually doing anything and them all not really working well as a team. And he wasn't exactly wrong about that given Apogee was rendered useless by nightfall, and Flange's voice was regularly getting blown out due to his powers and him being hit with laryngitis, which made him pretty much useless at every time of day. Gazer Beam was the only one of them who could consistently fight crime at every hour of the day, and I think Apogee and Flange both resented that in a way, unaffectionately calling the group Gazer Beam's gang before disbanding it. Flange would later die to the second version of the Omnidroid, either due to his damaged vocal cords or from Syndrome capitalizing on his weakness to sonic feedback.
Probably sonic feedback. Plasma bolts. What's this one?
Audio file for Plasma Bolt erased inadvertently due to Plasma Bolt's electromagnetic aura.
That is cool as shit. That is so cool. Okay, plasma wave emission, electromagnetic energy captured by antennae, transferred through hands. Flies using high tensile dichronic fiber reinforced acrylium wings. Team affiliation Phantasmics, obsessed with the outdoors, secret identity Force Ranger. Adamant about separating hero and civilian identity. So she's like the Wasp.
Record.
Despite Plasma Bolt's file being missing and me not really having much to say about her because of that, it's worth mentioning that she is one of the only heroes featured on these tapes, heroes who died by cape malfunctions notwithstanding, to have not been confirmed dead. This is a tricky one because it's very possible she was also targeted and killed by Syndrome, but when Mr. Incredible is searching through the files, she never once shows up as being terminated. It's worth mentioning that there are multiple cuts in this scene, either to show Bob's reactions to finding out many of his friends and fellow supers have been
deleted scenes?
Killed while the computer is still showing him off screen, or to cut back to Helen and Edna. It's very possible that Plasma Bolt could have shown up on the computer off screen, but nothing has been confirmed. It certainly makes more sense for her to be dead in my eyes, since she would have been the only surviving member of the Phantasmics, but the possibility of her survival is still there.
Yeah. Psych wave. What do you do? Pause. Pause. It's crazy.
So in
this is the chick, Cuddy! This is the crazy weirdo! Listen!
high school, that's when I realized I had the ability to possess other people, to send psychic waves to other people to get them to do things that I really wanted them to do. I had a crush on the quarterback of the football team, who was also my best friend's boyfriend. I psych waved him into asking me to the homecoming dance and breaking up with Shelly. And the more I practiced it, the shorter amount of time it took. You know, I could just sort of look at someone or look at a picture or see them passing by and think this thought or this action or whatever, and
She had to go, bruh. Her and Gamma Jack needed to go, Cuddy.
it would just happen. Never really used it to harm people, except for all those girls I made the guys break up with because I wanted to date them. Kind of freaky, actually.
Yeah, a little bit.
Psychwave is a fucking freak. I was
nothing. She's a criminal.
I'm kidding earlier when I said there was some pretty disturbing super.
She's an EDP. Well, not EDP. Who's like a sexual assaulter, but like against like other people, not minors. I don't know rapist lore. Sorry. But she's a rapist!
In this universe, and Psychwave is definitely one of them. I really want to know the limitations of her powers, because she's able to possess anyone she wants through either looking at them or looking at a picture of them.
That's
like,
insane.
That is just insane to me. Not to mention how gleefully she's talking about how she would just randomly practice possessing other people to do her bidding, to the point of possessing multiple guys to have them break out with their girlfriends simply because she wanted to date them instead, including her best friend's boyfriend, by the way. Psychwave is absolutely unhinged, and the fact that she's paranoid does not surprise me. Recounting all of this stuff with a smile and looking back on it while laughing is just peak sociopath to me. She is sick in the head. There is some debate as to whether or not she survived the Omnidroid, despite being shown that she was terminated. The official Incredibles wiki states that Syndrome never found her body, but I can't for the life of me find a detail that confirms that. So as far as I know, that crazy bitch is dead.
Splashdown? Who the fuck is that? Cuddy, wet and wild ass mascot, Cuddy.
Splashdown audio file irretrievable due to water damage.
Flights, underwater, high-speed travel, ability to breathe underwater, ability to communicate with underwater life forms, a weakness, must stay intensely hydrated. Personality, fiercely independent, obsessed with finding lost city of Atlantis, secret identity, oceanographer, mission and actions.
Splashdown's recording is missing, and aside from being another cape victim, I'm good just moving on to the next one. There's not much to say here.
Damn, Cuddy, Aquaman ass. Stormicide, that's a cool ass name.
There's vapors.
Ability to absorb and emit vapors of various properties, i.e., e.g., oxygen to extinguish flames. Functions like a sponge. Polarized sonic imaging lenses. Fly powered by vapor emission. Personality, excellent multitasker, caretaker for ailing uncle, graduate student in chemistry, committed to hero work, sensitive to criticism.
Gases in the air, and I can take them in. I'm kind of like a sponge in that way. I emit them however I want. I can emit your oxygen. I can emit carbon dioxide,
That hairstyle ain't it, bro. You look like a fucking, I don't know, bro, like a Willy Wonka creature, bro.
monoxide, whatever you need. It really depends on the situation. Say there's a fire, and I gotta save people or whatever. Basically, I can take the oxygen out of the air, and that stops the fire. On the other hand, if there's a bad guy, I just emit the oxygen, and the fire gets a little crazier, and then, you know, bad guys smoked. It's kind of awesome. Because I'm all about gas emissions. Yes, I have been the butt of many jokes. Maybe
gas.
it's just because I'm too... What? What? Oh, I said butt. I said butt. Ha ha ha. It's a good time. See, this is.
She takes all the oxygen in a room, leaving everyone like helpless, and just kills them all.
Exactly what I'm talking about. I've got powers. They involve gases. What do you want?
Stormicide seems like one of the cleaner superheroes in this world, honestly. I could make some juvenile jokes about her powers, but they already did that for me, and they're also just genuinely pretty cool. What I found the most tragic about her, though, was the fact that she was studying chemistry and fighting crime while caring for her ailing uncle.
And she's probably dead.
Her uncle was still alive by the time Syndrome found her, then it's likely he was left alone without a caretaker and probably died alone without anyone around to keep him fed or medicated, which is
cheer up, man. Syndrome probably killed him too.
Genuinely pretty heart-shattering to think about.
Stratogale. Stratogale? Stratogale? Stratogale.
Stratogale's mission audio file deemed
incomprehensible. Oh, she's another one that died in action.
Suspect.
She was a high school student? Flights. Incredibles hold no punches, bruh. Communicates with birds, fluent in 6 dialects, 10 species, witness teenager, deeply altruistic, secret identity, high school student, weekend zoo volunteer, loves to fly, keeps hurting.
Either faulty.
She died in a fucking plane.
Recording equipment or a high level of ambient wind noise.
Today I found out that Stratogale was a teenager. You know, the character in The Incredibles that got caught by her cape and sucked into a jet turbine. Literally shredded to death. Yet, she was just a teenager apparently, which... Jesus Christ. It's harder when you read her file and realize that she was genuinely a really sweet person. She communicated with birds, for God's sake.
Like a literal Disney princess.
Some part of me thinks that Stratogale's death stuck with Edna the most out of all of the heroes who died from cape malfunctions. It's very easy to view Edna as the funny and tactless character that she is, but as funny as her whole no cape spiel is, it's clear she's vehemently against capes for a damn good reason. If a suit I designed resulted in the death of a teenager, I would also be kind of shaken up by that fact and never design a suit with a cape attached to it ever again. By the way, I think it's obvious by this point that whatever timeline The Incredibles does have, it isn't exactly delicately written. Stratogale was apparently a friend of Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, showing up at their wedding along with a bunch of other heroes. Her appearance does not look any different to the time she died. Most signs point towards The Incredibles being set in the early 1960s, placing the years Bob and Helen got married and Supers being banned around 1947. The exact date Edna gives to Stratogale's death is April 23rd, 1957, a full 10 years after Supers were banned. Not only does it not really make much sense why there's high-profile super activity going on 10 years after it was outlawed, but Stratogale is apparently supposed to have still been a teenager here, which I don't believe makes much sense. Either the NSA files haven't been properly updated since 1947 and were only updated to mark her death in 1957, or this entire timeline wasn't thought out that well. Sorry to be annoying about it, but it's been bugging me for a while.
I think it makes sense for the first one. Thunderhead. The big back.
Thunderhead PSA, stay in school, take 1.
Hello, kids.
What the fuck?
This is Thunderhead. I wasn't always a superhero, but now I am. And I didn't graduate.
Oh.
I thought I was trying to tell him to graduate.
I like him already, dude. He seems like a sweetheart. Pushover, easily controlled by his emotions, loves kids, adopted single father of 5 children, raising him with help of his roommate Scott. Died in action. Why is it so dark? What the fuck? Why? He seems so sweet, and he
wasn't I? Hello, kids. This is Thunderhead. Please stay in school, otherwise you'll wind up like me. Don't
say it like you're a good. What?
That's not right. I don't know where I'm going with this. You told me there was going to be a script or something. Well, I don't read. But you were gonna tell me what to say in through the headphones, and you're not telling me anything except go again.
Oh.
Hello, kids. This is Thunderhead. I didn't like school much, but maybe you will, because
I like it.
You probably won't have the same teachers I had. That's not so good. Just aim high, and Thunderhead believes in you. Thank you.
Thunderhead's interview might be the saddest of the bunch.
I loved. Oh my
Edna
god.
described him as a really nice guy in the movie, but this tape really sells that for me. I get the impression Thunderhead isn't just dim, but might be mentally impaired.
He's mental. I feel like he's mentally impaired
in some way. He didn't graduate high school either, and his comment about his teachers gives the impression he may not have had the most respectful or accommodating upbringing. He also clearly struggles
with in the 40s.
The directions being given to him for the stay in school PSA is recording. It just makes me feel really bad for the guy. He also adopted 5 kids of his own that he raised alongside his roommates, only referred to as Scott. I'd make a comment about how it can be easily inferred from this that he's probably gay, but I can't really say for sure. Still though, the fact he died in action and left 5 kids to be raised by his roommate and no one else is just really sad, honestly.
Universal, man, last one.
Most superheroes have the alter ego so they can have the...
Is that Arnold?
...called normal life. Me, I choose not to. I don't see why I get so much flack for not having an alter ego. I mean, it's supposed to be a secret. No one's supposed to know. So what's the point? So
low self-esteem, unsatisfied, and secret identity life. Dude is a Redditor. He's unemployed. Whatever possible, keep busy.
If I take a girl on a date, I'm wearing the costume, sure. They like to bask in the awe of Universal Man.
Universal Man.
Leave me alone. You know, with the candlelight music and the pericomo and the fragrant oils and things of this nature. Then they come to me and they say, oh, Universal Man, maybe you take off the mask. Maybe we can see who's underneath. There's no one underneath.
He's chopped, gang.
They would be horrified if I asked them to take off their face. This is what Universal Man wears. This is me. Other than being indestructible because of my high density, I am just like you. And that's when the breakup starts, with the late-night recriminations and the slamming of the doors and the shattering bottles and the things of this nature and the redistribution of the assets and the it's not me, it's you, it's not you, it's me. But in Universal Man's experience, it's always you.
Universal Man is just really funny to listen to.
Yeah.
He's incredibly unstable, but I don't get the same level of disgust I get from hearing him speak like I do with Gamma Jack and Psych Wave. I'd say he's far more redeemable at least. It's clear he has incredibly low self-esteem, being one of the few superheroes to not have a secret identity whatsoever. What I want to know is how the hell he died to the first Omnidroid.
To the first? You suck, Universal Man.
He's the first superhero targeted by Syndrome and the very first hero to die to the Omnidroid, despite...
I mean, but, Faye, Engineer Black Hole, how did he die?
His powers being absolutely cracked. He may not be the strongest hero ever, but he's nigh on indestructible and can increase his molecular density to make him even tougher to take down and even stronger to boot.
I mean, Syndrome probably used him to make the code for the metal of the fucking droid, probably.
He can alter his personal density all the way to the level of a literal black hole, and if he did this, the entire world would just end. By all accounts, he should be one of the few characters in this world who is practically invincible, and yet he still died to the first Omnidroid. Fucking hell. I get that he's clearly not intelligent, being like a couple points above Thunderhead in that regard, but he had to have been caught off guard and killed immediately, right? I just can't imagine a scenario where he could see the very first Omnidroid coming and still die somehow. Sorry, Universal Man, your powers are cool and your voice is funny, but you are the biggest fraud in this universe.
Jobber.
By a long shot.
Huh.
And those were all the tapes available on the
my ass hurts.
Incredibles DVD. I hope this was an informative and
how long is this video? How long did I make this video? I made this bitch an hour and 13 minutes. Okay. This was really cool,
watch.
though.
I certainly found myself in awe at how much detail was put into these despite them being completely optional content. There's still a lot about the Incredibles lore I haven't fully tapped into yet, like the Elastigirl prequel book and the now non-canon comic books. There's so much Incredibles media out there that I just had no idea about, and I'm very eager to learn more and put some pieces together. Who knows, one day I might make the bizarre lore of the Incredibles before Chupo does.
Why is he pregnant?
No offense, Chupo.
Cartoon she? I know where you live.
Oh. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's the end of the video.
That was so cool! Bro, shout out Cartoonshi for putting this together, gang. Again, shout out to the Incredibles. Like, they need my fucking shout out. They're gonna outlive me. But, fellas, that was dope as shit. My ass hurts, bro. But that was really cool. Fellas, that's gonna happen today's video, bro. If you want me to react to anything more specific, let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to today's video, bro. Love you. Peace. Bye!